On this
It is.
good evening. This is Cristina Campbell. Uh yeah, who am I? I'm Cristina Campbell. And tonight we're going to talk about healthy endocrine system. Now, I did want to caveat this by saying this is a long class. Put your seatbelts on and come on for the ride. I think you'll find it worth it. If I seem like I'm going a little fast, slow me down because I don't want to cheat you, but I do have in the back of my mind that this is a lot of information. So I'm going to probably try to push it a little bit. I did want to mention quickly for those who are on tonight that there is an incredible video by, I think her name is Jolene, on hormones for younger women and men. And I posted her video on diamond miners, and I really encourage you, strongly encourage you to listen to it. You listened to it, didn't you? Oh, you just liked it.
Yes.
Okay.
I heard it.
It was so informative. I learned some things as well. So let's get started. First of all, I read this disclaimer a couple of minutes ago. If you need to stop this video, you can read that. But this is what you're going to learn in part 1, and then we're going to try to cover part 2 as well. And if it just gets a little long, I think I may finish it up on Thursday. We'll just kind of play this by ear because normally I would break this up into 2 classes. Okay, so what you're going to learn tonight is which organs make up the endocrine system. When you think of endocrine system, think of hormones. It's synonymous. We're going to talk about how the endocrine system functions and how it affects our overall health. We're going to talk about why hormone testing is important. I'm a big believer in hormone testing. I feel like if you really want to know where your levels are, the only way you're going to find out is by having a hormone panel. Now, the panel that is usually done by typical Western medicine is much lower than what I want to see those numbers at based on what I learned from Dr. Dan Purser. And I have those numbers. So if you need to have that hormone panel emailed to you, it hasn't changed over the years. You need to reach out to me. If you're in my organization, all you need to do is call me and say, Cristina, I'd really like to have the hormone panel sheet. And I will email it to you. It's that easy. Another thing that we're going to talk about is how our environment plays a role in our endocrine system. And so I'm going to be hitting endocrine disruptors pretty hot and heavy. I think it's important that you understand how these negatively affect you and what they are. And then I'm going to talk about why synthetic hormones are dangerous and how to support the body through stages of menopause. This is the time of year where you're going to hear probably more about hormones than any other time because we just got through with Valentine's Day, and men and women are concerned about their sexual prowess, their ability to, meet the challenges in the bedroom and having a really healthy sexual relationship. So I want you to kind of put it all in perspective that you can have a healthy sexual relationship if you have your hormones in balance, if that endocrine system is in balance. So what is the endocrine system? It's a system of glands and organs that include the hypothalamus, the pineal, if you're starting from the head, the pituitary gland, the parathyroid, the thyroid gland, the thymus. Now notice that the thyroid and the thymus are 2 different things. The liver, the adrenal glands, the kidneys, the pancreas, the ovaries in the female, and the placenta during pregnancy in the female, and then the testes in the male. The endocrine system secretes types of hormones that circulate throughout our body via the bloodstream. And it regulates body activity, the behavior, and other biological features. I mentioned to you what it includes, but what it does is it actually creates a series of signaling, and the glands communicate. with each other. This network of communication is known as an axis. And not all organs that secrete hormones or hormone-like substances are considered part of this endocrine system. The endocrine system's function, here is a little picture showing you how the hormones circulate through the body, through the bloodstream, influencing certain organs and tissues. Those hormones will affect an endocrine cell or a target cell. Some hormones only affect one or two organs, whereas others have influence throughout the body. So when you have an issue, say a thyroid issue, it isn't always that we should target the thyroid. We should actually be working on balancing those hormones so that it's feeding every system, gland, and organ in our body to bring about balance. Hormones are the body's chemical messengers, and they are critical in maintaining vibrant health. The more they are in balance, the better you're going to feel about all kinds of things. You won't be as moody. Your emotional state will be much more in balance. You'll be happy. You might even get into the state of bliss. That would be nice. A tiny amount of any hormone can result in big changes in the cells or even in the whole body. So hormones help with good brain function and in maintaining optimal body functions and work to keep us young. Progesterone balances estrogen, giving us a feeling of well-being and a positive attitude. Isla Ann and I were talking last night about how she felt. I hope you don't mind that I share this. How she felt after she had Davina, her first baby, and that she just knew that she didn't have a lot of good feeling energy, you know. And then her dad said to her, well, you must be having baby blues. And what happens is that when we're pregnant, our estrogen levels are the highest. We are vibrant, we're glowing, we look beautiful, and we feel awesome. Maybe a little heavy in the front end, but we feel good. And then we have that baby, and those estrogen levels drop dramatically. And this can actually get into post baby depression. You know, that feeling of just really a depressive feeling. So when so we need to get that estrogen back up. Another thing is that estrogen is curbed when you're taking what do you call those pills? Birth control pills. Thank you. I don't take birth control pills. So, and I don't recommend it for anyone else. I will tell you, and Jolene states this in her little video that I was telling you about. Those types of monthly pills play havoc with your hormones, and it lowers your estrogen. So if you're wanting to get pregnant after you've been on a pill, it may take a while for those levels to get back into balance so that you can get pregnant. It depends too on how long you've been on the pill. So I just really recommend that you find another way of preventing pregnancy if that's what you're choosing to do. There are many different philosophies about that. I'm not here to teach you how to prevent pregnancy, but just know that it does play havoc with your hormones. Progesterone and testosterone increase physical desire. So you want to make sure that you're getting plenty of progesterone, and we're going to tell you how to do that. And that if your testosterone hormone panel is a little high, just bump up your estrogen and your progesterone, because we need those hormones at a very high level. And the problem with the way we are today, with the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food that we eat, is that all of that is very compromised. And you're going to see what else compromises it as well. Testosterone helps build muscle and decrease fat. Estrogen and testosterone convert bad cholesterol, or LDL, to good cholesterol, HDL. I want to mention one of the things that Jolene said in her video was that for your men, if they're, because testosterone levels are at an all-time low, Power Jize is a Young Living product that she highly recommends, and I do too, because of what I learned from Gary and Mary when he first produced this supplement. She also says, and Mary said, it's good for women to take it as well. Add to those hormones. It's okay to add to those hormones. In fact, one of the things that she said, and we're going to be talking about this later, is that most all of us women should be on Femigen to get that estrogen up so that we're happier, so that we feel better, so we're more in balance. So that's something to look at as well. So again, it's important to have your hormone levels tested by requesting a blood hormone panel. That is what it's called. And Dr. Purser says that a hormone panel should be taken every week for 4 weeks to cover the complete cycle for best results. But I will tell you that that can be very pricey. So depending on what kind of insurance you have and whether insurance is going to cover 4 consecutive tests in a month will really depend on whether or not you get that done. But you can understand why he would say that, because it's going to cover, you know, everything from premenstrual, menstrual, postmenstrual, all of that. After the analysis, it's recommended that a hormone specialist evaluate the results. And again, I have Dr. Purser's numbers, and I feel that they are probably the best numbers to compare your numbers to. So that's why I have this note in the slide. It says standard blood tests are designed to pick up the sickest 2.5% of the population, and individuals often suffer for years being told that their thyroid or their testosterone or their estrogen, their progesterone and their adrenals are fine. And a lot of times I can tell before they get a negative diagnosis, you know, just by some of the symptoms. And then if they go and they get it tested and they bring me the numbers, I can show them that they are low or they may be low. Okay, so let's support our hormone production. And the first thing that we want to do is we want to be cleansed. Now, Eileen and I just finished a 10-day cleanse.
Yep.
And we felt great. Really did. We had some, you know, healing crises from time and again. I think, you know, when you're used to drinking coffee, for me, and then you get off coffee, I think you might get a little caffeine headache. But just getting rid of the sugar and the salt and the fat and all that stuff that we've been eating over the holidays and kind of picking out on, you know, we were feeling yucky and bloated, and Eileen was having some problems with her digestive system anyway. So we did that. We did a 10-day master cleanse. We felt fabulous. But you can also start with cleansing the liver with Juva Cleanse. I always recommend that you do not cleanse the liver until you first cleanse the colon. And a master cleanse will cleanse that colon. I'm telling you, you'll wonder where this stuff is coming from. It's like, there can't be any food in there. There can't be anything left in that colon because I haven't eaten in 6 days. Where is this stuff coming from? It's amazing. But you can use the Juva Cleanse after a good colon cleanse to help with hormone production. Your body makes its own hormones, body detoxification, sugar storage, that's glycogen storage or glucose, digestive health. Juva Cleanse might be a good one for you to try. I have some in there. So all you have to do is just take 1 capsule 2 times a day, or you can just merely rub it over your liver every day. But I would recommend that you do it every day. It's also beneficial when used with a raindrop. And I haven't even given you a raindrop. Wow. Yeah, she would love a raindrop. Who wouldn't, right? Okay, so let's continue supporting hormone production. Enzymes are very important. And the reason that enzymes are important is because you want to be digesting your food well so that your body doesn't have to work so hard at that and then not be able to make the hormones. So you see how all of this works together. You know, you're going to get your liver cleansed, you're going to be cleansed, and then you're going to take your enzymes to help your food digest, and then you're just going to feel better. Essential Zyme 4 is a multi-spectrum enzyme complex. Do you know if it's back in stock?
Enzymes 4?
Yeah. The last time we looked, it was not. So we use Essential Zyme. And if I had a choice between the two, I would choose Essential Zyme. That's the one in the left-hand side of the box. It's a, yeah. So we're taking Essential Zyme now, but I like Essential Zyme 4 because I can put it in my pocketbook. And that's what I do. Although with COVID, we haven't been out to eat at all, honestly. But that's why I put it in my pocketbook, so that if I'm at a restaurant or I'm eating food, I will take my Essential Zyme 4. It's just easier to carry than the bottle of 90 Essential Zyme with me. Both of them are advanced multi-enzymes for carbohydrates, fats, and carbohydrates and proteins, and they do a very, very good job. Are they out of stock? They're still Essential Zyme 4 is still out of stock, and I'm sorry, this is an old box. I just didn't think to update that. Okay, so here is how you cleanse the colon before you cleanse the liver, and actually that slide probably should have been shifted. But ICP increases fiber to enhance normal bowel function and aid in the removal of toxins from the body. Juva Power is for the liver, and it's a rich source of acid-binding foods, high in liver-protecting nutrients. Now, acid-binding foods are foods like spinach and beets. And what they do is they bind that acid so that your body is not in an acidic state. It's more, the pH level is balanced, and then hormones can be produced better. Acid binding foods assist our bodies to achieve a more alkaline state, and these foods attract the acid as they pass through the system and are eliminated, helping the body to achieve a more balanced pH level. All of these things play an important part. So, you know, if your hormones are out of balance, think about what you're doing. You know, I was talking to somebody about cholesterol the other day, and I mentioned that, you know, cholesterol medication isn't going to cure you. What it's going to do is it's going to reduce the amount of cholesterol that your body produces, which is actually detrimental. We need cholesterol for the brain. We desperately need cholesterol for the brain. What the problem comes in when we drink chlorinated water and we eat sugar. Sugar oxidizes that cholesterol, causing those blood cells, the red blood cells, to become sticky, and they begin to adhere to the inside of the arteries, and then it hardens, and now we have atherosclerosis or arteriosclerosis, hardening of the arteries. The culprit is not cholesterol. Our body produces cholesterol because we need it. The culprit is sugar. And that's what we don't want to admit. That's what we don't want to do anything about. You know, that's the beauty of doing a master cleanse, is that if you can get your palate shifted, if you can, you know, even get off sugar for 10 days, it's better than not getting off of sugar for 10 days. And then when you start to go back on, if you choose to do that, then hopefully it's not in the degree that you were doing before that, you know, before the cleanse. Now I'm going to do another cleanse in March, and my grandson, Sam, is going to do one with me. And I think Eileen said she might do another 10 days. So anybody else who wants to do it with us, it's a great time to get support. So what causes endocrine imbalances? Well, I've already mentioned a couple of things. You know, I say time and time again, an overload of chemical toxins found in the air, the food, the water, and the products that we use daily. So it's the sugar, it's the lack of exercise, it's just not doing for our body what our bodies really were built to do. And if it's too cold outside for me to walk, then I get on my elliptical. You've got to do something. Here are a few things that you can do. Reducing your estrogen load is a key component that everyone should follow. Start in your home with the following things. Wash your food. And we wash our food with the fruit and veggie wash. Every time it comes into our house, when we get ready to prepare it, we spray it, let it set for a minute, rinse it off, and we're good to go. We also don't like to get non-GMO. We don't like to get genetically modified foods and foods that have been highly sprayed. There's something out there called the Dirty Dozen. Check it out. Strawberries being the worst. You have to get organic fruits and vegetables. This is important. Throw away all the pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides in your garage, in your shed, in your house. Throw away all the cosmetics that have toxic ingredients and switch to estrogen-free cosmetics. And there is an app that you can get on your phone called Think Dirty. And you can check those cosmetics that you're using to see if they're in the green or if they're dangerously toxic to your body. And it will tell you that. I love that little app. Although I only use Young Living products on my face. Only. And I know, I am rest assured that there is nothing, there is no, what do you call them? Xenoestrogens in there. Don't use fabric softeners. This is one of the biggest culprits. And we don't even know it unless you've been on my classes or you've studied. The other day, Ilan was reading I guess it was
About the food.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, she wants to share that with you right now, don't you?
Sure. So a few days ago, basically, I saw a mom post all about baby foods and how they've been recalled. So 7 major companies basically were tested for their baby food, and a lot of it had mercury in it,
Arsenic.
yeah, arsenic, lead, and cadmium. And these are foods that I was giving my child because I trusted that they were honest enough not to sell those products to, the public people. And I was mortified. I was like, I'm doing my best to make sure that my child isn't, use any other products out there that might harm her. And then here I was feeding her Gerber, and it was all crap, basically. So I actually posted that on my Facebook page, and I made a video on it because I was just so heated. And I just really want people to know, you can't really trust companies out there, even though they say, and a lot of the companies that were on there were all natural and organic and all these fun words that they play around with. And we just have to be careful. We have to do our research and really dig deep because we just don't know.
Yep. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that. But again, this fabric softeners, there are so many people that are unaware. Use only naturally based perfumes. I only use essential oils. I don't use any perfumes. I threw all my perfumes and colognes away years ago because most perfumes are petrochemically based. Have a good water filter. Make sure that you're not drinking chlorinated water. It is toxic to the human body. Do not use plastic goods since all plastic leaches estrogens into our environment. Eat only organic-based whole foods. Avoid surfactants found in many condoms and diaphragm gels. If you want good lubricants, if you want to do a little DIY, please get Lucy Libido's book. She will help you out in that area, and it'll be all natural, and you'll have fun playing with those things. Do not microwave food in plastic, and avoid using the use of plastic to cover food or to wrap food for microwaving. And of course, I need to add, do not use aluminum foil in your house. We haven't used aluminum foil in 30 years in our house. So yeah, you just get some of the, backlash from that stuff. Which app did you suggest for checking out products? Think Dirty. It's called Think Dirty. Okay, here are some endocrine disrupting substances or EDSs. Chemicals have a molecular structure that binds with the receptor sites in the hormone secreting glands. And what I was doing for Eileen the other day is I was telling her that I was going to be a hormone and that I stood up in the middle of the kitchen and my hands had baseball gloves on them. And those are the receptor sites. And as these endocrine disruptors come through the bloodstream, my receptors don't know the difference between natural hormones that are made from the body or natural hormones that come in the foods that we eat, the healthy ones, or petrochemically based EDSs. And so it picks it up. And if it keeps picking up these endocrine disruptors, like DDT, like PCBs, like dioxins, all of these things listed here and more, it will cause cell death. And so we wonder why we're lethargic, why we don't have energy, why we have brain fog. It's because we're bringing these EDSs into our body and it's causing an imbalance. Some of the things that it's going to cause, as well as what I just mentioned, the lethargy and stuff, are reduced sperm count, infertility, testicular cancer, and reduced sexual behavior among middle-aged males, reduced immunity, breast cancer, and development of malignant and melanomas among women. Now that's the scary part. So those are some of them, but here are some more. Endocrine disrupting products that you may have at one time used in your home. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has a database, and these have been proven to be EDSs or endocrine disrupting products. Mouthwash like Listerine, Scope, Viadent, and Crest. Toothpaste like Colgate Total, Aquafresh, Crest, Gleam, Mentadent, Sensodyne, Ultra Bright, and Viadent. Here are some endocrine disruptors that you might find in your bathroom or under your kitchen sink. Antibacterial dish, hand, and body soaps. That's why the Thieves is the best. The lavender foaming hand soap is the best. I love the Luscious Lemon. And now I got the new one called Winter Nights. Oh, love it. Love it. So we have great alternatives. We don't have to be using Dial and soft soap or Dawn to do our dishes. I use strictly Thieves dish soap and I love it. I love it. Ajax, CVS. I don't know what that CVS is. It must be a soap. Lever 2000, Neutrogena, Clearasil, Clean and Clear, Suave, Oil Olay, sorry, and Aveeno. And you know, the thing about Aveeno is it's always been touted as natural. And here we have endocrine disruptors. In fact, if you download the Think Dirty app and you put the word Aveeno in it, it'll give you all the Aveeno products and it will tell you how dirty they are. You don't have to believe me. Endocrine disrupting products are Febreze, terrible. You know, Glade air fresheners. Anybody on this call should be using nothing but essential oils. In a diffuser, you don't have a diffuser, put cotton balls in your vents with drops of oil on it. That's how I started years ago, 22 years ago. Lysol was the culprit that caused asthma in babies and in my girlfriend who had been suffering from asthma for 32 years. And it wasn't until she had started using frankincense and hyssop that she had a complete recovery. It was, I mean, she just turned right around. She would have to go in and get breathing treatments every year. And ever since she got into Young Living, she has not had to have any of those breathing treatments. It's fabulous. Okay, some more endocrine disrupting products. Let's look at some shampoos. And basically, if you're buying it from Walmart or you're buying it from the grocery store, it's probably an endocrine disruptor. And one of the worst is Head and Shoulders. All these other ones, these deodorants, Right Guard deodorant, Pantene. In fact, I believe that one of the gals that I just did a Zyto on, she was using Pantene, and it kept coming up on the Zyto that she was using endocrine disruptors. So she needed to get those out of her system. So again, Alberto Culver, Aussie Awesome, Dove, Herbal Essence, Pantene Pro V, Pert, Suave, Vidal Sassoon. And here's a list of the deodorants. And we have the best deodorant on the planet. I mean, I love our deodorant. Eileen, I think, uses Valor deodorant. That's her favorite. And I use the Mountain Mint. That's been my favorite for years. And we have other deodorants like Cinnamint, I think we have. And we have CitraGuard. So if you're not using a non-EDS deodorant, please think seriously about getting your deodorant from Young Living. Here's some other disrupting products: makeup, CoverGirl, Avon, body lotions like Vaseline Intensive Care, Jergens, Suave, Johnson & Johnson, Baby Magic. All of these are endocrine disruptors. And again, if you're not sure, if you don't see your product on this list, check it out with Think Dirty, especially in the area of cosmetics, because they do have quite an extensive database on cosmetics and personal care products. I mentioned that dryer sheets are one of the worst culprits. Fabric softeners and detergents, very, very disrupting as far as the hormonal system. And so stop using this stuff. We have the best value on laundry soap you could possibly get. And if you don't know how to extend your Young Living laundry soap by 3 times, you need to get in touch with somebody who does. I'm one of those people. Eileen's one of those people. We know how to triple our money. In fact, I think I did a cost analysis and our Thieves laundry soap was cheaper than Gain. And Gain is one of those really cheap ones. It's like 4 cents a load. And I think ours ended up cheaper than that. It was amazing. So all of these fabric softeners and detergents are endocrine disruptors. Okay, so, you've heard about estrogen dominance. I wanted to get some clarity on this for you. Estrogen levels are normal, but your progesterone levels are low. So we need to raise those progesterone levels. And some of the symptoms of low progesterone are hair loss. Now, hair loss can also be indicative of a compromised thyroid, or your thyroid is not being supported. I actually had some experience in this area. I have been taking Thyromin for years. It's just a maintenance thing. I take 2 every night, and it's been my habit forever. For some reason, I guess it was last fall, I did a master cleanse, and I went off of my regular supplements, and I never went back on Thyromin for some reason. Now I started taking my other supplements, my multigreens. Everybody knows those are my favorite because they give me so much energy. And my sulfurzyme, I was taking that, and my B vitamins, and my master formula, and all the other, but I wasn't taking my Thyromin. And just after Christmas, probably the first part of January, I noticed that I was losing massive amount of hair. Now, when your hair is long like mine, when you brush it, it seems like you lose a lot of hair, but it's just because you have, one strand is way more than, a short strand of, of hair. So but I knew I could tell in the shower that I was losing. And it dawned on me, you're not taking your Thyromin. I had failed to support my hormones in that area. And I started taking Thyromin again. And I will tell you, in about a week, my hair stopped falling out. And I was grateful because I really did not want to lose my hair at my age. Nobody does. So these are symptoms of a lack of support to certain systems, organs, and glands. And if we don't give ourselves Progestins Plus, and we're going to be talking more about that in a minute, we can have hair loss with low progesterone or low thyroid. Breast cancer, sluggish metabolism, decreased sex drive. Start putting on the Progestins Plus. Breast tenderness, foggy thinking, fatigue, irritability, insomnia. See these mood swings, these cranky pants. We get just because we're not balanced. And osteoporosis, progesterone is one of the greatest things for osteoporosis. And we have many different products that you can use to get your progesterone. You can use Regenolone. You can use Prenolone Plus. You can use PD8020. And you can use Progestins Plus. But I think Progestins Plus is probably the easiest and most used by women out there today. Other symptoms of low levels of progesterone are water retention and bloating, acceleration of the aging process, cold hands and feet as a symptom of thyroid dysfunction. If you're not feeding yourself the progesterone, then your thyroid isn't going to be working properly either. Depression with anxiety or agitation. If you feel anxious all the time, feed yourself more progesterone. If you're gaining a lot of fat, especially around the abdomen, hips, and thighs, this is typical for women that are going into menopause because they're losing the production of both estrogen and progesterone. And so that's causing them to put this weight on. Increased blood clotting increases the risk of strokes. Drinking Ningxia Red is going to help with that blood viscosity. And also using lemon oil, whether you're drinking it in your water or you're taking a capsule of it every day or you're rubbing it on your liver, use more lemon. So from the age 35 to 50, there's a 75% reduction in the production of progesterone in the body. That's a huge percentage of loss. And so we really need to be proactive and start giving our bodies the things that it needs. Estrogen dominance, common estrogen dominance conditions are fibroids. And anytime that somebody comes to me and says they have PCOS, sorry, or they have fibroids or they have endometriosis, I ask them, are you using Progestins Plus? And they say, no, I've never heard of it, or whatever, you know, where the conversation goes then. So all of this, oh, there it is, PCOS. Yep. All of this can be greatly turned around with using more Progestins Plus. Fibrocystic breast, premenopausal syndrome or PMS, premenstrual syndrome. So support the pituitary. Oh, can't use ultra young. Pay no attention to that. Use Progestins Plus. Feed the pancreas with Ningxia Red and Ocotea oil. That's a really great oil. Keep the colon and the liver clean by doing cleanses on a really regular basis. And in the spring right now, you know, spring is just around the corner. This is the best time ever in the year to do a cleanse. It really is. This is when, you know, once that new grass or that new alfalfa begins to sprout up in the fields, this is when they used to let out their cattle. And the cattle would eat those greens in the spring and they would just clean them out. And another habit that my mother and I used to have is every spring around Easter, I would go down to Arkansas and we would pick poke. We would pick poke salad, and poke is very cleansing to the intestinal tract. So I'd go pick fresh poke. We fry it up with a little spring onion and some scrambled egg, and we'd eat our poke every spring. And that was something that also helped with the liver and just cleaned us out. Good stuff. Good stuff. People just don't know how to do that wild crafting anymore. Okay, synthetic hormones, bad. Natural hormones, good. There's a danger with these synthetic hormones, and patented synthetic hormones are different biochemically from natural hormones. And that's why I am not a believer in birth control pills. Natural hormones are found in the plants and in the food and in the human body, and their effects are good, but the effects of these synthetics are hazardous to your health. They're linked with higher risks of heart disease, ovarian cancer, breast cancer, and osteoporosis. So the pituitary gland is also called the master gland, and it's found right in the center of the brain. It's behind that frontal lobe, and it's about the size of a pea, and it weighs about 0.5 grams. It's really little. It's located on the bottom of the hypothalamus at the base of the brain and rests in a small bony cavity where it's protected. You can't see very well on here, but it has a bulbous head with a skinny neck, and it's inside this bony cage. It helps control blood pressure. It controls growth and development. It promotes protein production. It controls the reproductive functions and controls the secretion and production of hormones in the adrenal and the thyroid glands. So you see how one gland can affect many glands. Now, the problem with the pituitary gland is that you can damage it very easily. If you have had whiplash, if you've had a hard fall and hit your head, like say you used to do trampoline or balance beam or something in high school, and you fell off the balance beam or you fell off the trampoline and you had head trauma, you can damage this pituitary gland, which means that it's not going to make or secrete the hormones that you need to have balance in your life. So do a little self-check and think about if you have had head trauma, because this could be one of the reasons that your hormones are out of balance. The hypothalamus, on the other hand, is not so risky. You know, it doesn't, it's not affected as easily, but this does control the heart muscle. It controls the smooth muscles of the body. It regulates emotional and behavioral patterns. It controls body temperature, as does the thyroid. And it regulates the 24-hour cycle in biochemical, psychological, physiological, or behavioral processes. Now, I will tell you that, for example, the production of melatonin can only be done in darkness. So if you're one of these people who work all night and you're up all day, and you're sleeping all day, make sure you have blackout shades, because that's the only way that your body is going to produce this melatonin to help you with sleep, because you're kind of messing around with your biological clock there, that cyclic clock. It also controls pituitary gland secretions and responds to stimulus such as stress, pain, and emotions in our environment and our internal systems. So the pineal gland secretes the hormone melatonin, which causes feelings of sleepiness and regulates endocrine function. Oh, and here it is. It's the hormone of sleep, and it's made or produced when it's dark. If you need help with this, we're going to give you a suggestion. Remember, melatonin regulates sleep, it boosts the immune system, reduces anxiety, scavengers free radicals, prevents DNA damage, and regulates metabolism. Now, I'm not a big believer in synthetic melatonin. You need to be getting melatonin from natural sources, but better yet, you want to give your body the things that will cause your body to produce its own melatonin. And if you were on my class in December on the oils of ancient scripture, I talked about quite a few oils that have the ability to trigger your body into making its own melatonin. Some of those oils are cedarwood, sandalwood. Sandalwood is really good. Cedarwood is really good. I think Hung Kwai, because it's so high in sesquiterpenes, it's actually higher than cedarwood. That's not a biblical oil, but that just came to my mind. And I think frankincense and myrrh are in that bunch of oils too. So work with these to help your body to make the melatonin it needs so that you can sleep. Another thing that you can do is you could take sleep essence. Now it includes natural melatonin. It also has some great oils in it like Ruta. Ruta graveolens has been noted for increasing the ability to sleep. It has lavender and vetiver, and it has valerian, which is a really powerful oil as well. It also has tangerine in it, which supports healthy lymphatics. And all you have to do is take 1 to 2 soft gel capsules 30 to 60 minutes before retiring. Another thing that I actually prefer over sleep essence, and you've got to find what works for you. Some people, all they need to do is diffuse some cedarwood and lavender at night. Other people use sleep essence and, swear by it. If I ever have trouble going to sleep, I will take Imupro. Now, did you try that Imupro that time?
Mm-hmm, but then the baby woke up a billion times, and then I couldn't sleep because she was awake a billion times that night.
Okay,
so I have to redo it.
Yeah, we want you to try it again and see. Have you been sleeping well when the baby doesn't wake up a billion times at night?
Yeah, a little bit, especially when I diffuse cedarwood.
Yeah, she likes diffusing cedarwood. So Imupro contains melatonin. It boosts and strengthens the immune system. It supports healthy bones, skin, and hair. It promotes colon health. It supports the cardiovascular health, endocrine system, and healthy skin. Wow, this supplement is awesome. And it's a chewable. It's chock full of Ningxia wolfberry. I think it has the reishi mushroom in it. It is a really great supplement. And I will tell you, I have talked to moms who use a quarter of a tablet if their babies are overtired. So you know how cranky they can get. Just take a quarter of the Imupro, have her chew it up, or him, and they will sleep much better and they won't be so stressed out. They just get overtired. So it's really a great supplement to have on hand, both for the adults and for the kiddos if they're having trouble going to sleep. Here it is, cedarwood and sandalwood stimulates the melatonin production of the brain, promotes relaxation, oxygenates and stimulates the pineal and the pituitary glands in the brain. So you can directly inhale this or you can diffuse it. DHEA is something that's really important for vibrant health, and it's the most common hormone in the body. The beauty of DHEA is it actually produces both male and female hormones. It's like a precursor. You have to have this before you can have these. And so how do we get this? Because what it's going to do, this DHEA, it's going to balance cortisol levels, which high cortisol is puts you in fight or flight. In fact, my grandson should really be taking this Prenolone Plus. I'm probably going to get him on this. It retards premature aging. It builds lean muscle tissue. That's always good news for both of us, males and females. It blocks fat tissue and cancer cells. That's amazing. This is a great hormone. It protects against degenerative diseases. We were just talking to somebody the other day who suffers from fibromyalgia, not lupus, Addison's disease. She had kidney problems. She had RA, rheumatoid arthritis. The list just went on and on and on. And I don't think she was that old. She was like in her, she had COPD, and she's in her 50s, I think. And that's just like not one degenerative disease, but like 5. So this would be the perfect thing for her to be on in her wellness program to have her get. It improves memory, it normalizes weight, it improves sex life, and it boosts your energy. Where can we find this DHEA? This stuff sounds incredible. I need some of that. Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, it's found in Prenolone Plus. And the plus means that it has DHEA in it. So it supports healthy levels of testosterone, DHEA, progesterone, and estrogen. And it's in a little tube. It's a natural moisturizer. It contains clary sage, which helps with estrogen production. It's got ylang-ylang in it, and it nourishes the skin, and it helps maintain overall well-being. And all you have to do is take a little squirt in your hand and then just apply it to either the soft tissue of the arms, the thighs, the abdomen, anywhere that you have soft tissue, and just kind of rotate it around on your body. And if you're still having menses, then just don't do it during menses. Give your body a little break for that week or 10 days, and then use it the rest of the time. This is really a great cream to have in the bathroom. I have it in my bathroom. I have Kenneth use it, and I use it myself because it's an anti-aging hormone. It doesn't get any better than that. I am all about feeling healthy and vibrant and younger. PD8020 is recommended for men and women over 40. It promotes health and vitality, and it is a natural overall hormone support. It also contains DHEA. So we should be taking this. Take 1 capsule a day and increase to 2 capsules as needed. This is great stuff. You want to get your hormones in balance? Start taking some of this natural stuff. And the thing is your body will take what it needs and leave the rest. That's what I love about it. It's food. Remember, I've taught you about our supplements are food. Energize. Now, I started taking this the other day. Again, I hadn't taken it for a while, and it's especially formulated to support and maintain a healthy, balanced endocrine system, and it too contains DHEA. So I'm getting it from a couple of different sources. From the Prenolone, I'm getting it from the Endogize. I can take 1 capsule twice daily. Now I take 2 at night with my Thyroid. And then discontinue for 2 weeks. You don't have to discontinue it, especially if you are postmenopausal like I am. We can just keep taking it, keep adding that great youth hormone to our bloodstream, and our bodies will thank us. Cortisol is the stress hormone, and it's important for normal function of the brain, the immune system, muscle tone and strength, and blood circulation and sugar levels. However, you can have too high of cholesterol, and you'll tend to things like obesity, rapid weight gain, blood sugar imbalances. You'll be wanting all that sugar all the time, and high blood pressure. So people with high blood pressure, this is something else that you can recommend to them. You're going to see it here in just a minute. And then the low cortisol some symptoms, which I don't see very often, is adrenal exhaustion. If I see adrenal exhaustion because maybe they've had a chronic illness for a long time or been in chronic pain for a long time, that's going to tend to adrenal exhaustion. And I will recommend, if you have severe adrenal exhaustion, I will recommend coffee enemas. It doesn't work like coffee drinking at one end. It's better to get it the other end, and it rejuvenates those adrenal glands, which are sitting on top of your kidneys. And you can Google about coffee enemas. You have to use organic coffee, but I'm telling you, it made my life turn around when I had chronic pain for 18 months with the fragmented disc at S1L5. I was in terrible pain and my adrenals were exhausted. And I used coffee enema. I used nutmeg oil, and I used magnify your purpose. All of those two oils are really supportive to the adrenal glands. Too low cortisol will also cause cardiac arrest, low sex drive, depression, increased blood pressure, increased blood pressure. So both high cortisol and low cortisol symptoms have high blood pressure. Decreased thyroid function, muscle wasting, mental fatigue, chronic fatigue, and lower immune resistance. So what do we have that's going to help balance this cortisol? We have Cortistop for women. And I was wondering, Eileen, could you check to see if that is in stock, and then we can let people know. Estrogen dominance to counter rising cortisol levels. That's what it's recommended for. And use this in conjunction with Prenolone Plus cream and or Progestins Plus. It supports female glandular system and balances cortisol production. Take one capsule before breakfast and another before bedtime, and use daily for about 8 weeks, and then discontinue for a month or two, and then take it again. And it is in stock. Cortistop is in stock, and I apologize for the old label, but it looks fairly similar. Just look for Cortistop. Okay, let's talk about male and female hormones. Female ovaries produce eggs or ova and female hormones and regulate the menstrual cycle and pregnancy, whereas the male testes produce and store sperm, and they're the main source of male hormones like testosterone. Stages of menopause. If you are about starting around 43 or older, you may begin to get what they call perimenopause. This means around menopause. It can be later for some. It occurs years before menopause actually begins. It'll last about 4 to 5 years. And this is perimenopause is when you start to experience hot flashes, sleep disturbances, and mood swings. It's still possible to conceive a child during this stage, so be careful. And it ends a year after your final period. That's the official start of menopause. So what are common signs and symptoms associated with menopause? Irregular premenstrual periods. You might have a period for 3 weeks, and then you don't have it for 3 months. And then you'll have it for 2 weeks, and then you won't have it for a month. And a lot of women don't understand what's going on, and they will go into their women's clinic, and the nurse or physician assistant or doctor will recommend a D&C. I don't know why they do that when this is a natural process. And everyone seems to go through it, unless it's just a procedure that they can charge you for. But I went through it. It was a rocky road. Menopause is a rocky road, but I went through it and got through it. And then I found my oils, because I found oils at about 46 47 years old, I think I was, around that time. And yeah, it was about 46 or 47. And I was in perimenopause at the time, beginning to go into menopause. Other things, so I had hot flashes and I had night sweats, and I remember studying about my oils and trying to find if we had anything for that, and we did. And so I started using the recommendations, and I'm going to give you a few of those recommendations tonight. And I got rid of vaginal dryness, I got rid of my sleep problems, I got rid of my mood swings. You know, I kept my weight. I've kept my weight pretty stable over all these years. My hair is not thinning if I take my Thyromin. And by using Progestins Plus, I never had decreased breast fullness, which is kind of nice. It makes, Dr. Purser says, it makes your breasts fluffy. And I think that's true. So post-menopause, these are the years after reaching menopause. The ovaries no longer release eggs and production of sex hormones sharply declines. And oh, by the way, you can't get pregnant. So that's where I am. Here are some great oils to maintain healthy estrogen levels during especially needed during times of hormonal changes. I use clary sage every night. I roll it on the inside of my ankles. You can also take clary sage as a dietary supplement. I don't use it that way. You can also use 6 to 8 drops of clary sage on the lower back during monthly discomfort. And sage will also work, but clary sage works better if you had to make a choice between the two. Both of them have been shown effective in the treatment of hot flashes in 30 menopausal women with these symptoms. Another thing that you can use is estro. And can you check to see if we have estro? I don't know if we still carry estro or not. It's recommended as an all-natural herbal tincture to support the female glandular system and to foster a normal, healthy attitude. And I don't think we are actually carrying it right now. And they may have taken it out of Young Living altogether. So until we find out more, we're just going to pass that on. But I will tell you that here's a testimonial from Dawn out of Wisconsin. And she says, using the essential oils desk reference, I was able to discover that clary sage and geranium are 2 oils helpful for hormone regulation. And Dawn is correct. Geranium is also a good oil for balancing hormones. So she made up a blend of 4 parts clary sage, 2 parts geranium, and 2 parts carrier oil for relief. She applies the blend to the area inside the ankles, and she's had really good results with that. Clinical studies conducted at Pisa University in 2002 and the University of Bradford in the United Kingdom have shown that topical hormone creams and essential oils have a greater ability to penetrate through the skin and enter into the blood much more quickly than those that do not have essential oils. And that's why we have Progestins Plus. This is a pure harmonizing serum that is designed especially for women. This is not for men. It contains wild yam and vitamin E, along with frankincense, bergamot, and peppermint essential oils for optimum results. It supports healthy ovaries. And what it is it's a micronized progesterone that has been studied for over, well, now it's probably been 15 to 18 years. It also tends to clean out those exoestrogens. And this is by Dr. Dan Purser, who is an endocrinologist or an MD. Well, he just has a lot of great study in the area of endocrinology. I don't think he's actually an endocrinologist. But you know, those receptor sites that I was talking about and how they get laden with these xenoestrogens, and those receptor sites are just, they're just corroded. The oils will actually clean those receptor sites off. So that's really good to know. Rub 1 or 2 drops over the carotid artery, or you can put it on the inside of the arm or wrists. I use much more than 2 drops. I actually have a roller ball on the end of my bottle, and I just roll it on both my arms before I go to bed at night, and I rub those together. It's best to use both Progestins Plus and Clary Sage at night, because Progestins Plus will help you sleep. So that's good news too. Okay. This is part 2. Where are we as part of time? Yeah. All right. I'm going to try to get through this part 2 with you guys. I know that it's already been an hour. This is going to tend to be more for the males, but just bear with me and we'll get her done. And you can always go back and listen to this on my YouTube channel, Cristina Campbell. I will be posting it out there tomorrow after I get the recording. So here we go. Part 2, what we're going to learn. Well, we learned about the organs and what part of the endocrine system they were. And then we learned how the endocrine system functions and why hormonal testing is important and what causes endocrine imbalance, which products are endocrine disruptors, and why synthetic hormones are dangerous. What you're going to learn here is why men experience male menopause, why balancing the thyroid is essential for overall health, how the parathyroid affects bone health, like osteoporosis, why reducing stress is important for the adrenal glands, which steps you can follow to support hormonal health, and how you can begin supporting your endocrine system on a daily basis. So andropause is the male version of menopause, and it's caused by low testosterone. And Prenolone Plus supports healthy testosterone levels. The fact is that you have to use it every day. Every day. Declining testosterone is the basis of heart attacks men so frequently have in middle age. It affects hormone levels, the psychology, sexual activity, spiritual connectedness, interpersonal relationships, and social activity. The signs and symptoms are declining energy, weight gain, irritability, frequent urination, prostate problems, and failing sexual performance. So I also recommend Prostate Health. This supports the male glandular system, and it maintains healthy, normal prostate function. It features powerful oils like the saw palmetto and pumpkin seed oil, ingredients known for their support of a healthy prostate gland. It also contains geranium, fennel, myrtle, lavender, and peppermint essential oils. Take 1 soft gel 2 times a day. That's the best. Another oil blend that's really good and recommended for men, but women can take this as well, especially if you're wanting to boost your sexual activity. Use Mister. And Lucy Libido talks a lot about Mister. So if you got on Shelley's class last week, I'm sure you learned a lot about Mister. Also, I do highly recommend getting Lucy Libido's book. It helps balance emotions, promotes mental stability, and supports the male productive system. 3 to 10 drops under the tongue 2 to 3 times a day. You can also massage this on the male reproductive Vitaflex points, which is the outside of the ankles. Do this for 7 days and then rest for a few days and then resume. Sclerescence supports normal glandular function, but I recommend this for women. It combines the soothing effects of peppermint and the balancing power of fennel and clary sage, so you know that it's going to raise those estrogen levels up. It also has a gentle calming action of sage lavender for an extraordinary dietary supplement. You can take this in a capsule. And I'll tell you, Terry Seacrest, our upline Royal Crown, this is the one she uses. I use clary sage straight up on my ankles. She uses sclerescence in capsules and swears by it. So again, you're going to have to find the ones that work best for you. You know, go through a bottle of clary sage. If it's working, stick with it. If it's not, next time you need to order clary sage, try sclerescence. This really does promote healthy estrogen levels. And we don't recommend that you use these oils with other synthetic hormone products. You can use it with other, you know, PD-80/20 or Femigen or any of that, but we just don't recommend you using it with synthetic hormone products. Put 1 to 10 drops in a capsule with V6 and ingest 1 capsule daily as needed. So I've been talking off and on about Femigen. Here it is. It's formulated with herbs, so it's a capsule, and it has amino acids in it that are designed to balance and support the female reproductive system for youth through menopause. Combines whole food herbs like wild yam, damiana, and dan quoy. All of these are really hormone boosters. It has natural estrogen, which supports the reproductive system and maintains hormonal balance as women transition into menopause. Take 2 capsules with breakfast and 2 capsules with lunch daily. Here's that geranium oil I was talking about. And I mentioned fennel because fennel is in Mister. So both of these promote balanced hormones. Our deodorant that was mounted, Meadow Mist, I don't think that's available anymore, but that had geranium in it. And I used to recommend that for women who were looking for a deodorant that was going to help not only with their lymphatic system, but also with their hormone production. But I think they discontinued it.
They have it. It's Meadow Mist.
Yes, Meadow Mist.
It's just not available, but they still have it.
Okay, so they still have it, but it's out of stock right now. I know women who actually just use geranium straight out of the bottle and use it as a deodorant as well. And it works fine for them. You can apply this for monthly support, 2 to 4 drops on the Vitaflex points. You can inhale it or diffuse it. I liked that recipe that Dawn had mentioned, 4 parts clary sage, 2 parts geranium, and then she added some V6 to it. That'd be a great thing to massage your ankles with at night. You can also take a capsule before each meal or as desired. The fennel, 1 drop of essential oil to 1 drop of V6. I like fennel in my water occasionally. So try that. If you like the taste of licorice, you'll love the taste of fennel in your water. I like it in the summertime over ice. Oh yeah. If you like that flavor, you'll like that. But you didn't really like ICP too well, did you?
Yeah.
Was it the consistency or the flavor?
It was a consistency.
Because it's grainy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, they do say to use it with carrot juice, and I didn't do that, so it didn't help me either.
Here is another hormone balancing provides endocrine support when while menstruating. Use this as a perfume. It supports emotional health. It promotes healthy estrogen levels. It relieves occasional monthly discomfort. It is designed to be worn as a perfume for topical or aromatic use. Apply 2 to 4 drops to the Vitaflex points on the ankles or at the clavicle notch, and it may be applied to the abdomen for relief of menstrual discomfort. I need to update those bottles. A lot of times people don't realize that the pancreas has a lot to do with our hormone balance. It produces insulin and digestive enzymes when it is in balance. It controls levels of glucose in the blood. So if you are pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic, you have done things to damage your pancreas. And you can get it back into health, but you have to work really hard at it. You have to change your diet. You have to start to exercise more. You need to be feeding it things like Ningxia Red And some of these other supplements that we're going to talk about, especially Ocotea. Fennel is a good one. Coriander is good for diabetes and for healing the pancreas. Dill is another good oil. So those 4 oils are very supportive to the pancreas, and if you're struggling with type 2 diabetes. The pancreas controls carbohydrate metabolism, and it secretes glucagon that counters the act of insulin in a healthy situation. The national statistics for 2011, and this has gone up dramatically, it affected 25.8 million people of all ages, which was 8.3% of the US population. That's gone well over 12% now of the US population. I know it's the foods that we eat. It's all the high fructose corn syrup that is in everything from salad dressings to barbecue sauce to, I mean, if you're buying it in the store, it probably has high fructose corn syrup in it. You have to learn to be a label reader. Type 1 diabetes is you're incapable of making insulin. In other words, you may have caught a certain viral infection or an environmental toxin like mercury or asbestos or something has caused damage to your pancreas and triggered an autoimmune response. Type 1 can also be genetically inherited, or it could be caused by a traumatic accident, like a car accident where it's damaged the pancreas and the pancreas can no longer function. However, the predominance of diabetes in the United States today is type 2. It produces inadequate insulin for the body. It has a lack of sensitivity to insulin by the fat and muscle cells. And it is a direct result of poor eating habits, higher body weight, and a lack of exercise. So if you get exercise and you're not obese, then it's your diet. This is an acquired condition. Now, there is something called gestational diabetes, and that is the inability to process food properly as a result of the hormones of pregnancy working against the normal effect of insulin. And what they have found is that women who suffer from gestational diabetes are more likely to get diabetes in later years. But again, it's type 2. So if you have gestational or you've ever had gestational diabetes, you have to be more diligent than ever to keep your carbs down in your diet. Oh, and MSG can actually cause issues to the pancreas as well that can tend to diabetes. So make sure that you're not getting products with MSG in them. Here are those oils that I was mentioning. Ocotea and coriander both help maintain healthy blood sugar levels, even if you already have been diagnosed with either pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. These oils are calming. They support natural body cleansing. They promote healthy weight. They increase the feeling of fullness. As a matter of fact, Ocotea is used in our sleep products, which are our weight loss products. It strengthens the pancreas function and it helps to maintain healthy glucose levels. Take a double-aught capsule, half of Ocotea and half of coriander, and I think this is what I told your mom to take, 2 times a day, or put desired amounts of oil in a glass of Ningxia Red or pure water and drink it if she doesn't like to take the capsules. So here's Ningxia Red. I mentioned it. It has been found to support the pancreas. It has a low glycemic index. It increases the stability of blood sugar levels, and it detoxifies and cleanses. We recommend drinking a minimum of 2 to 4 ounces of Ningxia Red every day. Using stevia, I use nothing but stevia in my coffee in the morning. I don't use any high glycemic sugar or anything, but I do like a nice hot cup of, coffee with a little sweet and a little organic, half and half. And I do use cinnamon oil in my coffee every day because that's good for blood sugar as well. And stevia is another one. Agave. Young Living no longer carries stevia or blue agave, but you can get these from other sources. I get my stevia from Amazon, and the brand that I get is Trader Joe's. And I like their stevia. It doesn't seem to have an aftertaste. My husband uses blue agave, and I am concerned about a lot of store-bought agave has a higher glycemic index. So I am a little concerned about that. I would prefer you start the transition to stevia if you can tolerate it. The thyroid gland, we want to talk about this for just a minute. It's located in the lower part of the neck below the Adam's apple. It's the shape of a butterfly. It has like two wings attached by a middle part, and it controls many things: our heart rate, our blood pressure. It is the thermostat for our body. So it controls the body's temperature. It also controls immune function, our emotions, hormone functions or balance, and the rate at which our food is converted into energy. It is amazing what this little gland can do. Thyroid hormones are essential for the function of every cell in the human body. So without a healthy thyroid, we could have things happen to us like hyperthyroidism, which is an overproduction of the hormone that increases the body's metabolism, creating both mental and physical symptoms like weight loss and increased appetite, shortness of breath and fatigue, intolerance to heat, heart palpitations, increased frequency of bowel movements, weak muscles, tremors, and anxiety, difficulty sleeping, bulging eyes, and/or goiter. Causes can be inherited or environmental contaminants, and it can affect all ages, but usually occurs after the age of 15. That's hyperthyroidism. Now, conversely, we have hypothyroidism, and this is when we have an insufficient supply of the hormone that regulates the body's metabolism. And the symptoms are going to be just the opposite. You're going to feel fatigue and sluggishness, depression. You might look pale and have dry skin, increased sensitivity to cold. Your face might get puffy or your voice might get hoarse. You might have unexplained weight gain, brittle fingernails and hair, AKA they call it the moans, groans, stones, and bones. It's muscle weakness, aches, joint pain, and stiffness. The causes of hypothyroidism can be radiation, surgery, viruses, bacteria, medications, pituitary gland malfunction, congenital defects, diet, and environmental contaminants. It affects over 11 million adults and children and twice as many women versus men. It increased risk includes age, weight, and medical history. The number one single oil to support the thyroid is myrtle. Myrtle oil is in two products that we recommend for supporting the thyroid. One of them is Thyromin, and the other one is Endoflex. Myrtle supports healthy hormones of the thyroid and ovaries, and you can rub it right over the thyroid. It supports healthy liver, thyroid, and prostate, and has been researched for its effects on glandular imbalances. So you can apply 2 to 4 drops on location, which I said right over the thyroid, or the VitaFlex points. Look in your EODR, your essential oils desk reference, for the thyroid on your foot, and you can rub your oils there. You can diffuse myrtle, or you can use it as a dietary supplement. I prefer just taking 2 Thyromin every night before going to bed. Now, I have never had a hormone panel taken that said that my thyroid was compromised in any way. I just have supported my thyroid for the last 20 years with Thyromin. It nourishes the thyroid, it supports hormone balance, it's energizing, and I can tell when I'm not taking it because my hair starts to fall out. So take 1 to 2 capsules daily immediately before going to bed, and that is my habit. And I recommend everybody supporting their thyroid with Thyromin. It is nothing but goodness, nothing but goodness. And here's that Endoflex blend that has the myrtle oil in it. It supports healthy hormones of thyroids and ovaries. It supports adrenal glands for increased energy and stimulates the liver and pancreas. You can diffuse it, but I prefer to put it directly over the thyroid. You can also put it on the lower back, over the kidneys, the liver in the front. You can put it on the feet, the glandular areas, and the foot Vitaflex points of these organs. Dilute with 2 drops of V6 or olive oil in a capsule, and you can take it internally up to 3 capsules a day. Another thing that we're going to recommend is MegaCal. MegaCal is a good source of calcium because it's very balanced with magnesium, manganese, and zinc. And these are all crucial for proper action of hormones, for proper enzyme function, insulin action, and heart health. It's also needed for blood sugar control. This would be another good one for your mom to take. It comes in a powder, and it has a little tiny scoop in it, and you can add it to smoothies, or you can add it to any drink. Ningxia Red, you can add it to Ningxia Red, but it's going to help with that blood sugar control. And everybody should be taking some sort of calcium, whether it's Super Cal or Mega Cal. Another thing to support the thyroid, when we had the tsunami in Japan and it affected that nuclear plant, the CDC told us that we had nothing to worry about as far as the radiation. Now, our winds go from west to east, and Japan is west of us. And in those months after that tsunami hit that thing, I had more high incidences of thyroid issues on my Zydos than ever before. And so one of the things that Gary did to be proactive is he put together a package of items, and he called it Quad Shield. Now, Quad Shield, the package Quad Shield is no longer available, but the items are. And he said, you need to increase your intake of Super C. Now, Kenneth just said that on the news that nuclear plant was hit again day before yesterday. Didn't he say that at dinner? Yeah. And so I don't know if it's leaking more or less or again or whatever, but he did say that it did get hit by an earthquake. There was an earthquake and it affected that nuclear plant again. In light of COVID, we should be taking Super C every day. Another thing that you want to take is Thyromin, and there's Endoflex here. No, that's Melrose. Melrose protects the thyroid or any part of the body from radiation. And I know this to be true because of my neighbor. My neighbor, Jennifer, had trigeminal cancer, and she had to go through radiation treatments. And she used Melrose and rose ointment, and she got less burning than anybody else that was on that floor. Like, there was a bunch of them that would get the treatments on a regular basis, and they were burned bad. And she never got burned because she used rose ointment and Melrose. And another supplement, and I apologize for the old bottle, but the other supplement was longevity, and I believe that we've been out of longevity for some time, but you can get the longevity oil and make your own capsules. Longevity should be taken 1 to 2 capsules twice daily, and it's very, very good as a free radical scavenger. It has orange oil in it. It has It has thyme in it, I believe. It has some really powerful oils that are really, really helpful for anti-aging. So that's longevity. I should be taking longevity. I haven't been taking it for a while. Okay, another gland that we're going to look at very quickly is the parathyroid gland. And this releases hormones into the bloodstream to increase the amount of calcium that's in the blood. It actually is the gatekeeper for the calcium in the blood and the bones. So when this is working properly, you're going to get the right amount of calcium in the bloodstream and in the bones. Too much parathyroid hormone causes osteoporosis. This is a powerful influence on the cells of the bones. High calcium level symptoms are the feeling of being run down, poor quality of sleep, irritable, and decrease in memory. So osteoporosis has a lot of risk factors. Aging is a risk factor. Estrogen deficiency, inadequate vitamin D intake, low body weight, and smoking are all high risk factors. Higher risk factors for osteoporosis are diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, hyperthyroidism, celiac disease, asthma, and multiple sclerosis. The symptoms that you can, it's really kind of one of those, I never felt like I was getting osteoporosis kinds of things, but you might get a backache or a gradual loss in height, a stooped posture. Your bones may tend to fracture around the wrist, hip, or spine. Your father has degenerative disc disease. That's a type of osteoporosis. It's where the bones get very brittle, and it can be caused by those risk factors that I was mentioning. So what can we do to, prevent osteoporosis? At least 800 to 1200 units of vitamin D a day after menopause from both food and supplements. And we have the best vitamin D on the planet. I love our vitamin D. So make sure that you're taking massive amounts of vitamin D and vitamin C during this time of COVID, because they both help strengthen your immune system. And take calcium supplements like that MegaCal. That's going to help with osteoporosis as well. But something else that's going to promote mineral absorption for bone health is mineral essence. I would not be without my mineral essence. It stimulates the adrenal glands. It contains over 60 iodic minerals, and it also has some essential oils in it, like lemon. Take 5 dropperfuls in cold water in the morning and in the evening, or as needed, for a mineral supplement. I don't like to ruin my Ningxia Red with this. I have taken it with orange juice and it's palatable, but the best way I've learned to take this, and it was because I took it at the clinic a lot, the Young Living Clinic in Ecuador, is in really cold water and just drink it down. And it's not half bad. Something else that you might want to add is BLM, because this supports healthy bones. BLM stands for bones, ligaments, and muscles, and it supports adrenal function and normal tissue health. If you weigh 120 pounds, take 1 capsule 3 times a day. If you're from 120 to 200 pounds, 1 capsule 4 times a day. Your dad should be taking BLM. Over 200 pounds, 1 capsule 5 times a day. So you want to really take this throughout the day when you're eating or snacking, because it's really going to help support that bone density. We talked about the adrenal glands earlier. We talked about adrenal function. The adrenal glands help to regulate salt and water in the body, and they have an anti-inflammatory action, maintaining blood sugar levels, blood pressure, and muscle strength. It has effects on the bones, the mood, and the immune system. It stimulates the heart, the lungs, the blood vessels, and the nervous system. And it affects the processing or the metabolism of sugar, protein, and fat throughout the body. So it too plays a big role in helping us to stay balanced and healthy. The hormone cortisol, produced in the adrenal cortex, is elevated when we get adrenal fatigue. The symptoms of adrenal fatigue are weight gain around the abdomen, depressed immune function, and accelerated aging. The causes are environmental stress, chemical stress, physical stress, psychological stress, and biochemical stress. So if you are, again, in chronic pain, have been in pain for a long time because of something going on, or long-term chronic depression, you probably have adrenal fatigue. The recommendation is to reduce stress through meditation, physical activity, attitude changes, because without stress reduction, all the therapeutic and supportive measures will eventually fail. There is no magic bullet for these things, folks. You've got to be able to just gain control of your life and do what you need to do to get yourself in that place of health. Supporting the adrenal glands, I mentioned that I used nutmeg and I also use Magnify Your Purpose. But this is a blend. I believe this blend is taken out of the EODR, the Essential Oils Desk Reference. You just add the following amounts of essential oils to a 1/4 teaspoon of V6 massage oil and apply as a warm compress over the adrenal glands located on the top of the kidneys. 3 drops of clove, 3 drops of nutmeg, and 7 drops of rosemary. Another great blend is energy. Energy and nutmeg together. Actually, energy has nutmeg in it, and it supports the adrenals, it protects the liver, and it boosts energy. It promotes healthy levels of melatonin and growth hormone production. This is really important. I should use energy more often. I love teaching you guys because then it reminds me of what I need to start using more of. I mean, sometimes we get into the habit of using just the same thing, day in and day out. And I think we need to mix it up a little bit. Apply on the VitaFlex points, inhale directly, diffuse, or take as a dietary supplement, either one of these. Even though energy is not a vitality oil, I just want you to know that when Gary created this, he was promoting it as a dietary supplement as well. And you can look that up in your EODR. Yeah, thank you. Some massage oils that you can use are V6 massage oil and Dragon Time. And Dragon Time is good for hormone balancing, especially around premenstrual and during your menstrual cycle. It has the oils of blue yarrow, clary sage, fennel, lavender, jasmine, sage, and ylang ylang. We also have a Dragon Time shower gel, and we have a Dragon Time essential oil blend. So all of these are great if you're still having periods and you just want to balance that out. Maybe you get lower backache. That Dragon Time oil is really, really good, especially supportive during that menstrual cycle. 7 steps for hormonal health. Number 1, eat a healthy diet and avoid high glycemic and processed foods grown with chemicals, sodas, excess alcohol, and coffee. I have 1, 2 maximum cups of coffee a day. Consume enzyme and fiber-rich foods. Exercise regularly. I'm pretty good at this, guys. Daily exercise is a must for your body to run smoothly and at its best. A daily 30-minute walk or the equivalent is all that's necessary. Manage your stress. Remember, I mentioned meditation, relaxation, letting go of tension and negative emotions are all really, really important. Exercise can help, walking can be kind of a meditative experience for me. Thinking positive things, all of that is important. Drink lots of water. Water is an essential nutrient. We can get dehydrated pretty fast. It's unbelievable. Your body prefers at least 8 glasses of water a day without having to distill it out of some other liquid. I used to say, you don't want to wash your dishes in orange juice. So that's where the clear water comes in and just cleanses your body. Again, think positively and take good quality Young Living nutritional supplements. You can't possibly get everything that you need from the food that you eat, no matter how good your diet is. If you are not yet a member of Young Living, you need to get with a person who invited you to this class and make sure that they explain to you about becoming a member. And this is not correct. And suggestions for your essential rewards would be Essential Zyme, Longevity Oil, make your own capsules. So capsules would be on here too. Melrose, Super C, and Thyromin. All of those are great products to start with. Other good products are Lady Scleral, Endogize, Prostate Health, and Mister. This would be both for him and for her. Ningxia Red, by all means, Ningxia Red, no matter what. Progestins Plus, every woman from the age of 12 to 112 should be using Progestins Plus. Make sure you're taking your Essential Zyme, and maybe you want to try adding some Femigen for a few months and see how that makes you feel. Here are some resources. There's some great books out there by Dr. Dan Purser. This is the Essential Oils Desk Reference. It's actually in the 8th edition now. You can get some of these things from Abundant Health for you, Life Science Publishers, or Crown Diamond Tools. Great resources. So thank you for the long, hanging in there. I know I just lost somebody, but we had quite a good group on tonight, and I appreciate your patience. This was a long class. I do want to mention again, if you didn't hear me earlier, there is a great video on diamond miners, on hormones by Jolene. Please listen to her. It's an hour long too, but maybe while you're doing the dishes, you can put it on or whatever you got going on, but listen to that video. It is good. And it's just going to add to what I had to say tonight. So if you have any specific questions, I'll open it up for a minute or two, but then I'm going to say good night. So let's make it quick. You've got something specific, anything out there?